Welcome back to another episode of Dad's Toy Garage, and I have some older footage I've been kind of setting aside on the computer. Been too excited about working on Project Snake Charmer, and the footage we're gonna go through today is back on 1973 CELICA, and what I've done is shaved the engine bay. If you want to get a kind of a look in here, I've taken every nut and bolt in here. Shaved them off. I've kind of shaved down the firewall, put some flat plating in there. The battery location over here, it's going to be moved to the trunk. I had to do a little bit of rust repair in there. That's the goal on this one. I wanted to give you guys the nice footage because this is on my old $30 camera. The footage you're going to see for this, the how-to I've done on that. The other thing I've done is a wire chuck, which I'm pretty excited about. I plugged the battery in and everything still works, so I'm happy about that. So follow along today's video and let's have some fun. Now we've cut out this piece here. I'm going to use it as a template and make a flat piece of steel. This is the piece I've made to fit this hole here. Comes in through the back side, and I'm going to try using my magnets to hold it in place. So that's the piece fitted in the firewall there. So that's all ground smooth. That's how that part is going to be. Got the old 18RC out. So I've been putting a lot of thought into it, planning how I need to go about shaving this firewall. And I've talked about shaving this corner already, pulling out that round piece with a couple holes in it. And so this becomes the flat surface that we're going to be working with. And within this, the brakes, I think this is the brake bias for the front to back. It needs to stay, so it'll be slightly indented here, but we'll put our cut line just above, retain this portion because there's a plate in there to give it strength. So I'm kind of thinking cut along here, come down here, then take it straight across here, and then we'll come down, make a 90, and right along the bottom curve of the firewall here, and then it'll come back up, and on the top side straight across following this shape. It's got to jut down a bit. There's a double plate in here and it's got the ground connection. This is the next portion of patch that I'm going to be doing in the firewall here. I've used a zero box to get my shape, so yeah, we'll get going on that. Alright, we're going to pull this piece out and this will make our template to weld back to the firewall. I'm going to run a slit cut in there, hammer dolly it flat, cut another slit to get the excess out, and then just weld it back shut. Alright, so I got the copper clamp back. They're going to try it this way. I've ground the metal clean, and I got some giant C clamps on there. So we're going to weld. So, got all these tabs to hold wires. I think I got one in the corner here, and I got this one, and this one. What I'm going to do is transfer them onto here, the same tabs, and then I'm also going to drill out these spot welds. They'll become a marker for that piece there, so I'll still be able to hold the wires above the transmission. These tangs for holding wires, I guess, they've been transferred to my new panel and off of this one. So if I overlay it, just for example's sake, you can see all the heat marks from the weld. Them all showing up in there, and in the corner. I've also tapped out for the holes. I've just punched these a little bit, so later when I'm going to weld this on after it's on the car, but later I can just set this in place and tack weld it back onto the firewall. I guess I should also draw this square because that's where the hose needs to go for the clutch safe cylinder. So that's the new flat panel. I got 2 tacks and they're holding it in place. Now we're going to weld it up. This is the firewall. I've got all the welds grinded up at this point. I got a couple low spots I got to work out now. I'm going to have to probably get someone to help me hold the dolly because I am definitely not long enough to hold the dolly on one side and reach around the dashboard to the firewall. I got to build a little triangle up in here yet. So I got this tab. It's not welded on, but that's where it's going to go on this little triangle piece. And a little tech tip. The magnets I ordered from Eastwood, that's what's holding it. So I'm going to try welding. So there it is after welding. It kind of welded funny with the magnet behind there. I don't know if that reacted with polarity or what. The sparks went kind of funny places. I'm guessing it had to do with the magnet. But it's on there. So now we're going to fasten it into this hole here. The little triangle that I've made up is now installed, ground down smooth. Got the washer bottle holes ground down. I got the motor in for a test fit and see how things are looking, and I need to line up a couple things. You can see the brake line now is along the bottom and everything runs in one bundle there. I still got this here. I think I'll leave the proportioning valve. I believe that's what that is. I'll leave it there. It's already looking pretty good. Taking this, move this a bit. The grounding strap here that would go to the firewall, I've now just kind of shared with the proportioning valve because this bolt actually screws into the firewall the same way the original did when it was up here. The washer bottle holes are gone. It's going to go end up in here, and there'll be a small fill hole right here. So I decided I would weld that tab for the clutch master there instead of, where was that? It was up here. That just kind of brings it out of sight. I should still be able to access both of the nuts back here. The line is now down here and it runs under the master cylinder. This is for the clutch reservoir. Originally it ran up here and it kind of terminated here with this fitting. Now we're going to have it follow this, sit the highest one up, go under the master cylinder and come up underneath. So I did manage to snap this at this point here, but I have 2 cars, so that's a good thing. I'll probably make all the lines when the car hits the road anyways. But now it runs down here on the firewall with the other ones, and then up under the master cylinder for the brakes, and then it's kind of tucked away in there. Looking at this part of the engine bay, this is the driver's side front, or the left front on this car. We're going to take away, the battery's going to go in the trunk. It's a decision I've made now. So we're going to get rid of this bracket, fill this hole, get rid of this tab, and fill this hole here. And then also get rid of the battery mounting bracket. That'll clean up this engine bay a lot. The battery bracket's removed, and it's kind of rusty under there, so it's a good thing it came off. Alright, so I welded up these 2 holes, same on the other side of the strut tower. These ones down there, this one, and that one in the frame. And then I went over these a little bit again. I ground them out just to redo those butt welds. They need a little bit of attention. So this is where the battery tray used to be. Got this plate screwed in there, part I took from the old quarter panel. What I like to do for putting my patches in is take the cutoff disc, run it along where the butt weld's going to be, and the beauty of that is you got your right gap for doing the butt weld. So then I'm going to cut this out, pull out the old piece, and then I want to see like how it overlaps all along. I want to see how that other piece is, if I can clean it up or if we have to build a new there. But then this battery area should be good after that. I started cleaning up this ledge where the metal piece, where that filler piece is going to sit. It looks like it'll be quite usable. This steel is considerably thicker than this steel, so there's lots left there. And it wasn't the steel sitting right against the acid, I guess, from the battery, but that's that piece there. We're going to hammer and dolly this a little bit. I got this shape of dolly I'm planning on sticking the back side, just to make sure these are flush before I continue welding the rest of it. I got the corner all done, welded up and ground down. That is the finished repair there. I'm pretty happy with that. I've removed the holes here and here that were for the hood release. Now I'm going to have it run underneath this lip here. I think I'm going to order a VW part. It's an aftermarket part, an aluminum filler neck with a rubber hose. And then we'll probably have it come down sort of where the circle is, go down and into the fender, behind the rear fender liner, and that'll be for the washer fluid. I may relocate this piece here, the spritzer nozzle hose, to come out somewhere else. And then we're going to go through the wiring harness, tidy it up, and I'll probably end up filling this hole in there and have it coming just a little bit lower and then running just below this box section on the inside of the frame rail, or not frame rail, but where the fender mounts to, there's that box section, and then it will come out through here, follow its factory location behind the radiator, and then just terminate in this area here. Well, that's it for this episode, guys and girls. I'm pretty excited how that engine bay has turned out. I think it's starting to look pretty sharp. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like with a nice coat of paint and some body filler to smooth out everything. It's going to look pretty sharp. So that should conclude this episode. Next time we are going to be tackling the wiring harness tuck and a couple other small things, which should bring us pretty close to completion of the engine bay. Minus the turbo kit, which I'm wanting to start on once the other metalworking's done. So until next time, we'll talk to you later.